All praise to Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So I've been talking about some sort of some negative topics. Like I've been talking about QAnon a lot, and some depressing stuff. So I thought I'd do some more uplifting stuff. And there are certain questions that you have in your life sometimes, and this there can be no answer to them. Like, how should I properly style my hair, for example? There's no good answer. But there are other things like the New Jerusalem. What does it look like? Because I think there's some cool stuff about the New Jerusalem that I don't think a lot of people talk about. There's a lot of people who think it, or maybe I should just read Revelation 21 first, some of that. Maybe I will. So, starting from verse 9. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, Revelation 21 says, came unto one of the seven angels which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show ye the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a great wall, and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, and the 11th jacinth, the 12th an amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, and several gates, every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither the moon to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And so, there's a description of the New Jerusalem, and there's pictures. I'll put some pictures on the side of the screen. I'll put some pictures on the side of the screen. Like, people have tried to draw it, and we are told not to make idols of things, like not to depict things in earth and heaven and the ocean, but people do it anyway. And people have done pictures like some of the ones I'm putting on the screen, like just cubes basically, which I think is weird. Like, it's weird that people would take, like I understand, because the width and the height, width and length and height are the same, so I understand the cube is a shape that fits, but these pictures I'm showing you, do you imagine that God would make something like that? Like, this is I suppose in a way it would be like his greatest creation, like the holy city that he's going to live in, with us forever. Like, is it going to be a cube? I don't think so. I don't think that these depictions are accurate at all. I think it's much better than that. And there's something I want to show you. There's a clip I want to play you that'll help explain. So I'll just play that first.
Oh my gosh, they're right now, honey.
I'm sorry, that was the wrong clip. Yeah, sorry, it was this one. Here we go.
Many wonderful things to see and do.
no sun.
No sun.
So it must be the radiance of God that keeps
Absolutely,
it alight.
because God is light.
Yeah.
And wherever He is, it's just glorious light, no shadows, no darkness at all. And so when God is there, then just a blaze of light, pure light. Now,
David-
here's an interesting thing
Yeah.
about that light. The New Jerusalem is described in terms of being built of quite rare materials on earth. We have what we call precious stones, meaning,
Just going to ask you about this.
well, we call them precious stones because they're rare. And so we make jewelry of them. And they're just very small supplies of them on earth. It's going to be quite different in the new world. Things that are rare here will be common there. And so the New Jerusalem, it's said, is built, made up of 12 precious stones that we would make into jewelry now. Now here's the fascinating thing, which to me is the final proof that that book is the Word of God, that it must be God inspired. In the last generation only, we've discovered how to make purer light than we had before. Most light is bouncing around, waves crashing into each other, going in all directions, so that the light coming from that spotlight still lights this side of my face by reflecting off that tinsel up there. We're used to light coming at us from all directions. But we've now discovered how to send light in one direction. Laser light is the most common. You've seen laser light beams straight as a die. But we've also got what we call cross-polarized light. A polarized filter, if you can imagine, allows light through like that. But if you put another polarized filter at right angles to that, you've really got a very fine filter. If you take sunglasses and take one lens and put it at right angles to the other, it goes even darker. It only lets very straight light through. Now, people have taken jewels and precious stones and cut a very thin slice for microscopic purposes, and then shone cross-polarized light through them to see what happens, to put it very crudely, what happens to these precious stones in pure light. And one of two entirely different things happens with every jewel. The technical term, to give you a bit of science for a moment, is anisotropic jewels and isotropic jewels. Now what happens is this. Some jewels in pure light, whatever their color to begin with, they may be red, blue or green, turn into all the colors of the rainbow and the most fantastic patterns. Other precious stones in pure light lose all their color, just go black, look like a lump of coal dust. And it's only in this generation that people have discovered this unusual property. For example, diamonds in pure light are nothing.
Did you get that, ladies?
They're
Did
not
you
even
hear
a-
that. Diamonds, nothing. They won't be there.
No, so make the most of them here. Rubies, garnets, just lose everything.
Emeralds.
No, they keep it.
Oh, good.
There are other stones that are anisotropic and go into these beautiful colors. Now here's the fascinating thing. The 12 precious stones that God uses to build the New Jerusalem are all anisotropic. In pure light, they are all far more beautiful. And God doesn't touch the diamonds or the rubies. He doesn't build with them.
Staggering.
No, let's just put on the screen a picture of these stones.
Yeah.
Look at the top 12 stones on this picture, and you'll see the stones of the New Jerusalem. Look at the 4 bottom ones at the bottom of the picture, and you'll see they're black, no attraction whatever. Now then, who knew this 2,000 years ago? No scientist knew it. Nobody knew it. John the Apostle, writing down the book of Revelation as the Lord dictated it to him, he didn't know. Nobody knew except one person in the entire universe, and he knew, and that was God himself.
Where is that written exactly?
Revelation 21,
Right.
halfway through, and you'll find all the 12 stones listed there. And you can just imagine from the picture we've seen on the screen how beautiful the New Jerusalem is going to be. No need for do-it-yourself decoration or changing rooms there. No need. The materials that God uses will be fabulous.
Okay, yeah, so David Pawson talking about some of the different gems and things. I've got some other things to play for you. There's basically, he was talking about cross-polarized light, and I didn't find video of all the gems through cross-polarized light. They might be out there, but I just did a search on YouTube, and there are a bunch of videos which have things, crystals and things on cross-polarized light. And so I've given you the David Pawson explanation. Now I'm just going to play you a bit of a more scientific explanation, which I find amusing, and it's also got some pictures there, and then just some other stuff as well, and then just to get the idea. So the stuff you'll be looking at coming up is not the gems in question, but it's the general idea of what it will be. So I'll play you that and then talk about it, I guess.
Unlike albite, calcic plagioclase typically has broad, well-developed albite twins, making it easy to identify. Other properties are typical of feldspars. Plagioclase in igneous rocks typically occurs in these elongate laths. Igneous plagioclase is commonly zoned, resulting in a range of extinction angles for a single grain. Here the extinction angle is less for the rim than the core, so the rim is more sodic. This is continuous normal zoning. Plagioclase in high-grade metamorphic rocks tends to be equant and unzoned. Hornblende shows the typical monoclinic amphibole features like tremolite and actinolite, but has stronger colour and pleochroism. The maximum extinction angle is about 25 degrees. The development of cleavage in prismatic sections varies widely from sharp to diffuse to absent, depending on grain orientation. Simple twins may be visible in transverse sections and also in prismatic grains. Prismatic form is common, but aggregates vary and can be fibrous and subradiating. Sodic amphiboles have bluish colour. This is crossite, intermediate between glaucophane and riebeckite. Optically, muscovite and talc are virtually identical. Muscovite shows the typical mica features of high birefringence and speckled interference colours, almost parallel extinction, low to moderate relief, and platy habit and basal cleavage. Here's a muscovite.
Okay, so what I'm seeing there is you've got a bunch of like all the pure light, or just the cross-polarized light, but you might say it's a certain type of light. And you might imagine that if the New Jerusalem is built out of stones that have the similar properties to the ones you saw in the video, and the architecture is really brilliant and amazing because God made it, you can imagine how beautiful this city will look. Imagine it'll be all shifting colors, and I'm sure it'll have lots of cool angles and things, and you look at things at a certain angle and it looks different and all of that. So I just thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting to think about, and it's going to be sparkly and all different colors. And another thing to think about is we can only see a certain spectrum of wavelengths of light. So it's quite possible, and I'm hoping there are going to be new colors as well. Like in our new bodies, I'm hoping that we will be able to see more. And it doesn't even need to be many. Like a couple of new colors. Like I'd settle with 2. One would be all right. I'd settle with 2 new colors though. I think 2 new colors would be cool. Colors we've never seen before. I think that'd be awesome. Anyway, that's just me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, just let your imagination, think of some positive things from time to time. Yeah, may Jesus bless you and lead you to the truth and keep you in all that. No. Bye.
Plate in, and the interference colours seem to rise to 3rd order blue. Rotate 90 degrees to check. Rotate back, that's definitely a rise, so the northeast-southwest vibration direction is Z.